PJ the Wheel Deal coming at you live. It is Power Hour time, baby. Monday, August the 24th, 1:48 p.m. Central Time, Texas time. I'm trying to get into rhythm because we are launching Wheelers Academy live. So I got to get used to being live 4 to 6 hours a day for that tier of membership. So might as well practice. Now, I actually had a lot of moves to make today, and I'm going to post a recap the way I do for the subscribers on X and for my WhatsApp group and whatnot. But I'm going to talk y'all through all the moves that we made. That way, we're on the same sheet of music, if you will. So let's get started. Let's get started. Let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. So I just got to figure out how to get there. I think this is going to be it. I think this is going to be it. Bear with me. Bear with me because I got a lot of stuff going on here in the background. So bear with me. That should be it right there. Let me check, make sure we're good. Get more organized as we go. I just don't go live that much, man. So I'm like, this is not the one. Where is it? TJ the Wheel Deal. Where are we at here? Here we go. Okay, super. So what do we got going on? So we raised $2.8 million war chest, and we completed the SpaceX slot. 5 of 8. Done. We just bought, right? That's why it took me a couple minutes to go live. Bought 2,500 more shares of SpaceX. There was some sacrificial lambs, though. There was some sacrificial lambs. 1 second. My dog's driving me crazy. Alrighty, let me get going here with this thing. So there was a sacrificial lamb, 2 of them. We had to sell CleanSpark and we had to sell Riot in order to be able to finance all of this. And they're still part of the North Star. We're still going to accumulate a couple 100,000 shares across the board on those. But right now, there just wasn't room. There just wasn't room for those particular stocks in the portfolio right now. So we're just playing them via cash secured puts / short puts. So the setup, the cash raise, cover and deliver, these numbers speak for themselves. The one number that is a little bit alarming right now is the buying power has creeped up to 62.9%. Those are the gimmies and the gotchas. MSTR's melting ups run up from $99 to $122, which is obviously really good for the portfolio. But it has put a strain on the short call ladder. So the play idea is to cover and deliver, right? We want to buy shares near the strike, deliver them into the calls instead of rolling defensively. But I'm using a combination of those things. That's the strategy. We're set up for it, but it's still going to take me time psychologically to adjust to that because rolling's been the go-to move. Now rolling's kind of like the last resort. So that takes cash. So today it was about building the war chest. I rolled 2 backstops down and out for credit, got 995 for that. We sold more MSTR puts. I feel really good about that. Man, that I can't even believe how much money you can get for selling out of the money puts way out in the distance on MSTR. But that comes with the risk because the expected move is so high, right? If you go on the options chain, you see that big copper strip. That's your expected move. It's huge. And it was a tough call to make. And then selling Riot and CleanSpark shares on companies that you really believe in, especially Riot. I know that we'll accumulate the shares again, but you never want to let them go because there is a bit of an emotional attachment there with the shares, but we still have 1,000 puts on Riot. So it's kind of like, what's the objective? It's to make money. It's not to make money a certain way with the ticker. So we have to be very, very clear about that at all times. I know what's going on. My TV in the background, it froze up. I like having CNBC on just for the tickers. Um, what else? Yeah, we keep the backstop trades in place, so the North Star names are still there. It's all good. The cash went from 467 to 2.8 million, so it's a 6x without touching a dollar of new deposits. I've already started buying the MSTR shares to cover the ladder. The whole day, move capital to where the opportunity is. Keep the firepower ready and never be forced into a defensive role. So we own the shares, manufacture the bases down, keep the fire ready for the melt up. So move 16 trades, all live on the stream for the most part, with the exception of a couple that I did after I stopped being live or whatever this morning. Appreciate 21 people rocking with me today. There's a lot of people live today. I know Dr. Jim's live. Shout out to Dr. Jim from he used to be with Tasty Live. Now he's got his own channel, Options Uncapped. I look forward to maybe one day going on that channel and learning more from the person that I feel that has taught me the most about selling options. So I look forward to that opportunity in the future. I've already reached out to him on X. Maybe he'll invite me on the channel at some point. Anyway, so what do we got going on here? Rolled the MSTR backstop. We kept it at 100, so we just added more time to the clock. We got 536,000 for that. We rolled the CleanSpark backstop trade out and up, so we went from 9 to 10. So we took on more risks there. 2,500 contracts. We got a cool 419,000 for that. We added MSTR puts, so we sold 500 more puts at 100. So now we're at 1,500 total. And we got 1.63 million for that. That was the big cash grab of the day. We sold the Riot shares and the covered calls. We closed those out, so we're not running negative to the upside. So we did a nice little profit on that. We added more backstop trades, so that was 487,000 in credit there. Sold CleanSpark shares and closed the covered calls for a small profit. So we raised another 175,000 for that. Why? Because I need to have the money to add to the MSTR shares, and we wanted to close out the SpaceX position, so we did that as well. Uncapped MSTR, not really uncapped it, but we raised the ceiling by buying back the front rung, the $165 ladder. So that cost us $255,000, so that the shares can now run up into 185. That's where we're capped on the covered calls. And then I took off the covered calls off completely on BMNR. BMNR is free to run. You're more than welcome to run. That would be great. We're not cheering against BMNR. It is officially our tuition trade. She gets to $75. All's well in the world. We'll look up. The portfolio will be sitting north of 25 million bucks. So we started cover and deliver. Bought MSTR shares. Now we're sitting at 35,000 shares. We've gone up 33,000 to 35,000 because we've got 250 cover calls. Hey, baby. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. I got this roll right here, baby. I'm ready for it. Anyway, my wife's trying to make me skinny, so she got me eating cucumbers and watermelons, guys. I mean, a bunch of sardines, tuna. We're doing this thing. The road to 185 starts now. Anyway, so the net result, the cash goes from 467 to 2.8. And I'll show you all this on the brokerage in a little bit, but I want to give y'all something real clean and concise before we start jumping around all crazy with the brokerage. The tough call. Why selling in Riot wasn't abandoning them? Selling shares and names, I believe, isn't easy, guys. It's about capital allocation. It's not abandonment. Riot and CleanSpark keep their put backstops, so the slots keep building towards goal on the roll forever puts. I just moved the share capital to MSTR where the opportunity is right now. When the melt-up plays out and the cash comes back, these slots are still there. Still North Star, ready to build. Move the capital, keep the backstops, never leave a slot behind. So we're going to add more shares, but here's where we sit now. 8 companies owned outright by 2032, funded by premium, not deposits. So on SoFi, we're already there, 100%. Palantir, we're trying to get to 40,000 shares. We're sitting at 35,000. There was a little bit of a pullback on Palantir. I thought about it, man. Let's just bite down and buy the 5,000 shares. of Palantir. We're already where we want to be because the first rung's covered on MSTR. We're just anticipating that we're gonna have to deliver those shares. So we want to buy a fresh batch. That way the next rung is covered as well. That is what this is about. It was raising cash in the anticipation of a melt up on MSTR. Now, if MSTR doesn't melt up, well, then obviously those 185s aren't going to get challenged. And the money that I gave back on closing out the 125s and the 165s, I more than got that money back by selling more puts at 100. So either way, we're good. It's like, you always want to set up these scenarios. Heads, I win. Tails, you lose. That's the ideal scenario for you guys. Just in my mind, just trying to give you guys the mindset. MSTR, we're at 35,000. There's a world where we'll get to 40 or 50,000 shares of MSTR, and I might move the North Star up. Right now, it says we're 140% there because the goal was 25, but I might move that up. If Riot and CleanSpark don't give me that entry point, and I just have to be satisfied with making a shitload of money on put premium, maybe they never make it and back as far as share ownership into the North Star goal, but that doesn't mean that I can't make money with them. I'm just going to make money with them a different way. So how am I going to replace that slot, the 12 million and the 7.5? Because I'm counting on that money off of them. I have to increase the share count on the ones that we already own. So maybe Micron goes to 5,500, 65, 7,500. Who knows? Maybe SpaceX goes even to 25,000 shares. Maybe we increase the MSTR to 40,000, 50,000. Palantir is already at 40,000. Maybe we go to 50,000. Maybe we get to 500,000 shares again on SoFi because that was the original game plan. Again, we have options. We have options is what I'm trying to convey. We have options. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at in a nutshell. So now what I want to do is, if I could, I don't know why this thing's not allowing me. That's weird. Oh, here we go. So now what I like to do is, first of all, let me get off of this right here. Let me make sure that my settings are the way we need them. The way we need them. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Yeah, I got my settings all jacked up right now. So that doesn't work. Give me a second. Click, 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 click. Okay, there we go. There we go. That should work. So how do I get back over there? That's the thing. I got to get more proficient with this thing. Okay, there we go. Hopefully you guys are seeing that. I'm giving it, there's like a little delay here on my end. So let me see if I can see that. Okay, super duper. So you guys can see that we're down a lot more earlier and we caught back. We were actually green most of the day. And then I guess some of the shit has gone red since. So we're down 53, 70,000 on the day, whatever. It's pretty flat for us. It's pretty flat for us. But again, this is the alarming number. The buying power usage has crept up to 63%. But the good news is we got the 2.8 in cash. So you guys can see that all this reconciles. So we're going to take it here in order. We got Riot. Again, no more shares. We've simply got premium cash grabs going. That's it. That's all we got going. I like to consolidate these, but I just can't right now because it's 87, 81, 88. I'd like to consolidate all of these if I could. I just to make it cleaner, just like I have a big fat one here, like 2,500 contracts at $10. Wonder if I could do that. Let me see if I could just do that live for you guys here. See what that'll do. I feel like it's just going to jack my buying power even more, right? So let's see if I can close this out real quick. Okay, so there's that. And I feel like I don't need that one on. Wow, I mean that one's so easy. Let me do this. Let me just clean this one up. Where did she go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? There we go. Let me add 250 over here. just to have less line items. This is just OCD shit right here. That's it. No, got one filled. Great. It's just not a super liquid options chain here with open interest only at 1,000. Feel like I'm the entire market. So that part sucks. Okay, so there's that. I feel like that's pretty much a wash. So how much did we give back? Where's Riot? Yeah, so that was share ownership, and I'm just trying to look at the money going back and forth. So we gave back 20. We got 7,000. Gave back 22. Got back 21. Yeah, we need to add more puts. We need to add more puts on Riot. So the question is, do we add them at 12 or do we add them at 10? Obviously, 10's further out of the money. Let me go. Let me start with this one. Man, we're the whole market. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. See if I can just get it filled. I'm going to tick it down one. See if I can get it filled right there. And then we'll do the same thing. I got one of them filled. Now I'll do the same thing on the 12s. Because if 12, that would be 1.2 million. We could do that. We'd love to take ownership of 100,000 shares at $12. That's crazy. Okay, so let me go find that one. This one. Yeah, we're the whole market. This is crazy. Okay. So 500. I'll tick it down just one. I don't want to tick it down all the way. Just one. There we go. We'll see. We'll let it cook. We'll let it cook. Okay, so back to the program. So Enphase, we're there. We're good. There's a world where we may get to 40,000, maybe even 50,000 shares if Riot and CleanSpark don't give us those buying opportunities again. And we didn't have to sell the shares per se. We didn't have to. I just wanted to go ahead and take the time to raise the cash in case of this little problem child to the upside needs to be dealt with even more. Right now, we're solid on MSTR. We got 47,000 deltas on 35,000 shares. So we're absolutely not cheering for this stock in any way, shape, or form. So Enphase is straightforward. We got the 35,000 shares. We're down on the shares. And we got cover calls. We got cover calls at 50, and we have short call ladder at 55 and 60. Very, very straightforward. And they're printing. But we still have quite a bit of meat on the bone, right? We've got 62,000 of extrinsic, so we're just going to leave it there. We're going to try to get to 90. Oh, it looks like, right, we got something going on over there, right? I think only one filled, though, right? Yeah, 1 and 1, yeah. So this is not a very liquid options chain right now. Micron, we got 5,000 shares of Micron. We got one more filled. It's going to take forever. We got time, though. We got 53 minutes, right? We got 53 minutes. We'll see. And as it fills, I'll be clicking on it to see what's what. Yeah, it looks like we got all of them filled. You see, we're patient, so we didn't sacrifice too much in premiums there, so we're good. We're good. Because the issue is the data was at 60,000 and now we're at 47,000. So we're collecting less per day, but our buying power has gone up because we kicked the can down the road over here on MSTR. So that really affected the amount of data per day. But that's okay. Because this firepower is really what we need. That's really, really what we need right now. And we have it. Hopefully these guys will fill. I'm just going to be patient. Micron, we got puts at 800. It's a cash grab though, because that would take up a lot of the money that we have. So we can't afford to take ownership of all of those. So that's strictly a cash grab. Hopefully those work out in our favor. We do have the majority of the shares for sale at 1,200. If it runs up to like 1,050 or so, I may add the other 10 contracts there. We'll see. Same thing. Here is just a strangle. We've got 250 puts at 650 versus 120 calls at 1,800. So we're just playing the goalpost game right there. And then we got the crown trade where we're like, we're willing to sell these shares at 2,500 way down the road. We'd gladly do that. Gladly do that. SpaceX, now we are solid. We've got 20,000 shares. We are solid. We're done. We don't ever need to add another share of SpaceX unless this thing tanks to like $70 or so. Then be like, okay, forget everything I said on that power hour. I lied. We're going to add more shares of SpaceX. But right here, we're basically right at the IPO price, guys. We're right at the IPO price. We got an average of 131. Huge position, 2.6 mil. And then we got cover calls at 225. And this one's a little bit different, though, because this isn't for all of the position, and then neither are these. So what I'm going to do here, live for all of you guys, again, this isn't Sunny in 75. This is just my Hamburg stand likes to sell out. I own a hotel, and we got to book all the rooms. Sometimes we get better premium. Sometimes we get better rates than others. But at the end of the day, I got to book the rooms. So good. And keep in mind, with Wheeler's Academy, it's going to be launching here in a couple weeks. I'm going to be eating. I'm going to be talking. I'm going to be doing FaceTime. Y'all are going to see me do it all. Y'all are going to see me do it all. I'm going to feature y'all's portfolios on here. Whoever's comfortable, you want to just share screenshots or whatever Cloud puts together for you to keep, the anonymity going. We're basically forming a mastermind where we help each other out. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, keeping it going. Riot's still not doing shit over there. We're getting closer, though. We're getting closer. I think it's going to fill. Now I'll take it down one or two and call it good. I want to get that premium through the door. But SpaceX, what I like to do here is I like to add 25 contracts to all of these. Because we have 20,000 shares. We can't have all these squatters. And if I add all of those contracts here, then I'll probably just take off this $225 call. Just for OCD purposes. Not that I think it's going to get challenged. That would be an all-time high. I mean, it could happen. Highly doubt it. I highly doubt any of these are going to get challenged, and that's the point. But they also bring $386,000 of extrinsic value. Why is that important? That's my protection of the downside. It's the protection of the downside. So let me just go down the road and just start adding these. Let me just start adding 25 contracts to all of these. So we're going to start at the 116-day cycle. So we're going to go to right here, this guy, 116-day cycle. Let's go find it. You can see here the copper strix, the expected move. We're away. We're not messing around with this ladder. We're at a delta over here. So let's just try to get these filled somewhere close to the mid. Bring some money through the door. So that's why I like SpaceX. A lot of liquidity. So we're here. So now we got to go to the 144-day cycle. And again, this isn't Sunny and 75. This is just me filling the room. I can't have any vacancies in this hotel. It's too expensive. We paid too much money for it. It's a prime piece of real estate. Sometimes you get really good premium, sometimes not so good. It kind of averages out. That's the whole thing. That's why DCA is so important into the market. I do DCA, but with options. So we'll do that one. Now we got to go find the next one, which is, I believe, this one right here. So I need to put another 25 contracts there. I'll just put them on, give it time to fill. If not, I'll go tick them down and try to get them to fill that way. Just trying to sprinkle some money through the door. What's the next one? 350. Again, this is just methodical. Some of y'all like play this like a video game and like do it for the entertainment value. I don't do any of that shit. I'm just trying to get it done so I can move on with my day. We're gonna go to Killers Golf today. Gonna go play some simulated golf action. So I'm just trying to be done here so I can go do that. So here's that. Hopefully, I'm trying to get everything filled in the mid. If not, we'll go tick it down a little bit. And then we got this one right here, the 480s. There we go. So it's all working. All these little yellow dots say that it's working. So now I go and I look at it and I'm like, okay, 162 to 169, 254, 284, 335. Doesn't look too good. Doesn't look too good yet for them to fill, but I'm going to give it time to cook. I'm going to give it time to cook. I'm going to go check on Riot. Nothing happening over here with the Riot. I'm going to see if I can take it down just a little bit more. Go right here to the mid. See if we can get lucky and be done. There we go. That sucks, because you do that over and over and over again. It's $1 here, $1 there. We do, 500,000 contracts a year. Do the math. It adds up. That's why you want to fight for those. You want to fight for those extra premiums. Excuse me. Okay. Something else I did. SoFi. I rolled the puts. Oh, yeah, on SoFi. Let me go find SoFi activity. Man, today was a day of just set the portfolio up to where you don't have to look at it so much. So I rolled the puts. I rolled the $15 puts out in the distance, got a shitload of money for that. 635,000. Then, but I had to buy back the puts. So it was like 400 and some change. And then I closed out the covered calls. I closed out the covered calls at 20. We ended up losing like 70 grand or so on that. It is what it is. So if you go over here to the options chain, order chain, you'll see the $20 calls are going to be closed. I think it might be these. Let me see. Right here. No, this is where I made 137. Somewhere here. I lost money. I know I lost money on those cover calls. Just trying to find it. Right here, 100 grand. Lost 100 grand on those. Picked up 120, gave back 220. So it is what it is. Fortunately, I had other calls recently that I made money on, but collectively up 1.7 million on the options on SoFi. We'll take it. So now the way that it stands is we got 250,000 shares, and we got the shares for sale at the end of the year at $25. Coincidentally, that is my price target for SoFi at the end of the year. So I set it up accordingly. I officially don't have to look at the SoFi position until the end of the year. Now, at the end of the year, if it's trading above $25, if SoFi is trading above $25 at the end of the year, I got a decision to make. It's going to depend on our taxes because this isn't the only portfolio, right? So across the board, we're still up quite a bit because our buy, hold, and hope has done extremely well this year. Extremely well this year. This one is going to do well by the end of the year. That thing's going to be green, and it's going to be green in a really big way. So I don't know what I'm going to do with SoFi. I don't know if I'm legit going to be okay selling those shares at 25 and just be like, I'll just make money over here on the puts. I'll raise it up to 20, raise it up to 25, make money that way. I don't know. I don't know. It depends on how everything else is playing out with my investment thesis on MSTR, BMNR, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like 99.9% chance that that's a roll forever trade. And I'm just going to keep doing that over and over and over again. On a melt up, am I going to be willing to sell a short call ladder on SoFi? Probably not, because now I finally got it to where it's like kind of set it and forget it. And I like that. I kind of want to keep it that way. Anyway, you guys are going to get a lot of value on this Wheelers Academy, guys. We're going to like dissect the shit out of this thing. I'm going to walk y'all through like chapter and verse of the entire book. Y'all are going to watch me finish it. Manesh and I we're using the assistance of Claude to finish the book. Y'all are in for a treat. You guys are in for a treat, but it's behind the scenes. It's like Wheeler's Uncut. It's like TJ the Wheel Deal's Life Uncut. My wife's gonna come in here interrupting me. We're gonna have to like be pausing the stream. Be back in 15 minutes. I gotta go do honeydew Liz. It's time to go to the dogs, go to the cleaners. But we're gonna basically be streaming live the entire day. But there's other shit that I do. I might have to flip it over to the iPhone. I'm go grab my workout for 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes at a time in the garage. It's going to be fun. It's going to be like a reality TV show, man. It's going to be like reality TV. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. And I've been thinking about this for a while, been building up to this moment. And I think we're ready now. I think we're ready now. So SoFi is on chill mode. We got 324,000 deltas, guys. That's crazy. That's crazy. Riot. Y'all seen what I did with Riot? Oh, shit. I didn't even see that happened or did. Oh, I did that. Yeah, that's right. I did that. Okay, we're good. Yeah, we're good. So now we got $166,000 in premium. We're just chilling. And she flipped green for the year to date. So that part's good too. That part's good too. We're good. Palantir. We got 24,000 deltas on 35,000 shares. Let me try this real quick. Let me see what it looks like on the other side. Let's welcome Nez Varbon. I don't know how to say that. Nez Varbon became a YouTube member. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Hey, how are you? How are you, Paisha? I hope everything's going well. I don't understand this interface. Down for the year. Da-da-da. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? BM&R. Yeah, we closed cover calls on BM&R. I guess I already talked about that though. So let's keep it going. Right on. Anyway, let me see what it looks like on the. Oh yeah, I think that's cleaner. Let me do this. I think that's cleaner. Let me do this. Don't need that. Okay. So let me go to the website version. I think this is just going to be a cleaner look. Going to be a cleaner look while I'm going through this for you guys. Doesn't give us all of the metrics here though. Whenever you go on privacy mode on the web, it's a lot more private than on the interface, but you're able to zoom in a little bit more. So which one were you talking about? SpaceX, we're working it. Hopefully we can get those filled. MSTR. We've got, let me put this on custom. Am I able to do custom? There we go. Beautiful. So there's MSTR. We got the 35,000 shares. We got the short call ladder, but this is actually a covered call right here. It's not part of the short call ladder per se. So we need to do here is we need to ungroup these. And then we need to turn this into just a covered call. Group positions. Covered call. Okay, so then now let me ungroup this position here. And then these guys will be this will be the short call ladder group positions. Short call ladder. There we go. Because this is a real busy interface. So this makes it easier for me to kind of like walk y'all through that. So there we go. So we have 35,000 shares of MSTR. The shares are for sale 116 days from now at 185 strike. And then we got the premium cash grab. And we got paid a shitload of money. Mind you, there's some negative equity that's been baked into this cake right here, like over $1 million in negative equity. But we're still up about $500,000 on this position collectively after all the rolling. But there's now $4.96 million of extrinsic value there. And then we got the short call ladder going at 225, 250, and 300 respectively. You guys can see all the expiration dates. So Yankee Doodle is saying, have 5,000 shares of Amazon. What would you sell cover calls without worrying about it being called away at $300? At $300, probably November. What happened, baby? SoFi, we already talked about it. Riot, Palantir. We had the 35,000 shares. This was a big catalyst to turning the portfolio around this year. I'll get to it. Can you explain what is a backstop premium? Yes. We got one here on Palantir, so we'll get to it. We had 35,000 shares of Palantir, up 1.5. That part's good. And we got the shares for sale at $230, 179 days from now, which I think is just ridiculous on the valuation. But Palantir is that dude, right? Like Palantir is crazy. So you don't want to get into the valuation game on Palantir. And that Colt's like an army. They'll come after you. We got the short call ladder at 270, 330, and 400, comfortably out of the money. And then we got the big backstop trade. What's the backstop? Baseball, there's a backstop behind the catcher because occasionally the pitcher is going to throw a wild pitch. So the backstop is designed to catch the ball so that it doesn't hit the crowd and you're not running around all crazy looking for the baseball, right? So when you sell an oversized position, you sell an oversized put position, I call it a backstop trade because even on a wild pitch, you should still be okay. So the idea is to sell it way out of the money. It's a supersized trade. It typically exceeds, from a notional perspective, the amount of money that you have available to you. That's a backstop trade. It is straight robbing the bank. You're like, I don't think I'm going to get caught with my hand in the cookie jar here. So how much money am I willing to steal? That is the essence of the backstop trade. Security guards gone to lunch. The cashiers left the doors open. They left the vault open at the bank. How big are your guts? Do you have the guts of a burglar? I've often said on the channel that I have the guts of a burglar. And that's what a backstop trade is. I'm like, dude, you mean to tell me that Palantir, with all the mojo that they got going on, growing their CAGR damn near 90%, they're going to give us $1.6 million for agreeing to buy $12 million worth of Palantir 480 days from now at $120. They'll give us they'll give us 1.6 million. Right now, that goes directly to your cash balance. You can go buy shares with it or whatever. Sign me up. That's what I call the backstop trade. Keeping it going, keeping it going. So what is this? SpaceX. We're still working it. We're still working SpaceX. So I'll have to go to the other side to get SpaceX filled. It's not cooperating. So I'm trying to close all of these out if I've already talked about them. Nebius. This is premium cash grab. It's an agreement to buy $1.5 million worth of Nebius. They paid us $220,000 up front. We're about even. We're down 2,200 on it. If it goes below 150, we're on the hook for 1.5. If it stays above 150, we're off the hook on 1.5. And either way, the 220,000 is ours to keep. I like our chances. Only been in the trade 4 days. It feels good. Sometimes I like to start a position with the backstop trade just to kind of feel it out. How do I like that menu item? It's like it looked real good. Met with the salesperson. They're like, yeah, this is going to bring so much money. But okay, well, let me just sprinkle it in. Let me see if people actually line up for Nebius hamburgers. Nebius, wherever the hell you say the company. And right now it feels good. I think that this backstop trade, premium cash grab, can make us money over and over and over again. We don't ever have to own the share. We don't have to take on that kind of risk, if you will. Like owning the shares and give you the most upside. But if you're not ready to own the shares, selling a backstop trade pretty far out of the money and getting compensated pretty nicely for it, that's another approach that you can take. And the reason that it's compelling for us is because we have what's called portfolio margin. I'm going to minimize all of these as I'm only expanding the one that I'm talking about. I think y'all like this side better, right? Like when I'm explaining, because it's easier to see the numbers. To me, it's very evident that it's easier to see. Give me a thumbs up if you guys like me explaining it on the website, because I can zoom in a little bit more. And I'm going to see if I can get some drawing tools and stuff. I'm going to get Alex to come over to the house and see what we can do to make this thing better. I'm thinking about investing in the Vibe television and maybe going live on that, because I can draw on that thing and it could be a lot more interactive. And I think that's just ideal for Wheeler's Academy. So we could have the Vibe board. We'll see. We'll see. There's some stuff coming down the pike. Anyway, that is Nebius. Hood, another premium cash grab. Now, again, what's compelling about Nebius and Hood, we can knock both of these out at the same time, is since we have portfolio margin, we don't have to put up all of the money up front. We just have to put up a fraction of the money. On Nebius, we're only putting up 375,000, not 1.5. On Hood, we're only putting up 110,000, not 1.87 million. Because if you do the math, 7,500 times 250, that gives you your notional. You can see that the notional is not there. That's another one that's very, very compelling. I could have loaded the boat on that one because it's having a red day. I just saw that. Maybe I could double this and pick up another 165,000, because I'm very, very serious about loading the boat to potentially 50,000 shares on MSTR, and I got to make sure that I have the money. But again, it's going to come down to the buying power. 1 second. The guy that we're going to go to Killers with is letting me know. Okay. CleanSpark, we sold the shares, loaded up on the puts. Feel good about it. $727,000 of premiums for agreeing to buy these shares at what I think is a pretty attractive valuation. But it's also $2.5 million worth, right? So it is what it is. PM&R's had a little bit of a pullback since we closed the backstop trade, or since we closed the covered call. So we basically gave back money. We're like, hey, we want to remove the ceiling from this thing. And we wanted to be free to run. We'll see what happens. So we're we're ready to capitalize on this move if BMNR really goes on a rally. We'll see what happens. I don't have a crystal ball, man. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm positioned for something very bullish to happen. It could turn into bullshit. And it's like, damn, we gave back a lot of premiums that we didn't have to. The good news is we raised a bunch of cash anyway, so it's going to be okay. And shares don't expire. These leaps do, though. These leaps do. These leaps expire. These leaps expire. So let me see if I can rename the group. This is just leaps. This is the leaps, and we're going to call it the tuition trade. There we go. It's a leaps tuition trade. We need this thing. This thing goes to 75, and we are so whole. So whole. It's like Apple, Google, and PayPal never happened. I'll never talk about them on this channel. I need to go to the other side now, guys. I need to go over here to this platform because this is where I'm comfortable making the trades. I need to make these adjustments on SpaceX so I can get these to fill. There we go. There's one on. Let's try to get these guys to fill. Something filled. Oh, hopefully I can get those to fill. Oh man, I feel like we're pretty close here. This one we're not even close at all. My goodness. My goodness, we're not close at all. We're so close on all of these now. Fortunately, it's not that many contracts. It doesn't irk me as much. Where is it? Right here. I mean, I'm surprised any of these would fill, right? Because, I mean, the counterparty is going to lose this trade. But they like to gamble. I'm here for it. We got to give them the casino. These fucking degenerate junkies, man. It's crazy. I try not to ever go below the mid. Just like kind of like as my own personal rule of thumb, because you got to consider. And again, we don't get like the best deals on with Tasty Trade. We've not negotiated with them. I'm sure we could, but I just don't because I go live and I feel like as the following gets bigger, I don't want to do Tasty Trade dirty like that. And you guys are going to see that our commissions are less and stuff because then I feel like everybody's going to be calling Tasty Trade, and I just don't want to do that. I don't want Tasty Trade to hate us. All right, let's see if we can get this shit done. Call it good. Come on, you asshole. Man, that sucks. Come on, Tasty Trade needs to work for us, man. I don't want to have to leg this down anymore. Okay, so there's that. Hopefully it'll work. There we go. So now we got covered call here at 225, more than covered. And then now we got the short call ladders, 250, 275, 300, 350, 200 contracts that matches for the 20,000 shares. And then we got the 350s twice. So that's kind of weird. I don't know what happened there. And then we got the 400s. And it's $415,000 in extrinsic. So when this one gets over 50%, I'm just going to give the money back. I'm going to give the money back, and then At that point, I feel like SpaceX is kind of on set it and forget it mode. The only thing that would trigger me to really look and pay attention to that and monitor that position is if it went down to like 120, 115. I'd be like, oh shit, maybe I could buy some more shares of SpaceX. We got the cash. So I think we're good. I think we're good. I don't think I see a need to buy any more shares of MSTR. I feel very, very confident with how everything shakes out now. I just got to fix this. I felt like I'd already fixed it on the other one. So let me ungroup positions. Let me ungroup. Let me ungroup positions. So this is now a covered call. So what you do is you just highlight it and you go over here to group positions and then you just name it what you want to name it. So this is covered call. And it'll parse it over here by itself. And then this is going to be my short call ladder. And this is going to be group positions. This is going to be my short call ladder. There we go. So now it's clean. Now it's clean. Now let me go look at SpaceX. We got the covered call. We got the short call ladder. Short call ladder continued. And why do I have so many short call ladders on SpaceX? Good question. Glad you asked. Because I feel like there's a risk to the downside. I feel like there's a legitimate risk to the downside as more and more shares hit the float. I think it could put some downward pressure on SpaceX. So I want to position ourselves to have as much extrinsic value to protect to the downside, if you will. It's kind of like a built-in hedge to the downside. And 414 feels pretty good. You know, it feels pretty good. We can handle a pretty substantial drawdown on SpaceX. And then the other thing that I could do is I could lower all of these. I could go 200 to, starting here. I can go from 250 to 200. Then this one could be 225. This one could be 250. This one could be 275. This one could be 300. This one could be 325. And bring in a lot more premiums through the door. So that's another thing that could take the extrinsic from 400 to probably 500. Just pushing a few buttons. But I want to let it play out for a little bit. I want to let it play out for a little bit. So there's this question right here. It's a good question. Hey TJ, how the buying power is taken away when you put a cash secured put? Like, what's the calculation behind it? I know it's different for each instrument, but how is it calculated? Please explain. So they take the underlying. There's a lot of factors, right? It's called regulation T. And then when you have portfolio margin, you're under a different regulation. So each stock has its own set of rules, if you will. So I'm going over here to the internet and I'm gonna give you guys a real exact answer. How does Tasty Trade calculate? This is like Wheeler's Academy right now, because this is the kind of shit we're gonna be doing on the Wheeler's lives. How does Tasty Trade calculate buying power reduction when you have portfolio margin? So let's let AI do its thing. And here we go. Here we go. Hopefully I'm just waiting for it over here. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Perfect. So the results for how does Tasty Trade calculate buying power reduction when you have portfolio margin? Search instead for how does Tasty Trade whatever. Tastytrade calculates buying power reduction under portfolio margin using a risk-based methodology known as the theoretical intermarket margining systems, or TIMS, rather than fixed Reg T percentages. How the calculation works, it's stress testing. The system runs real-time price point movements, upside and downside stress tests on the current underlying spot price. Risk arrays. It creates theoretical single-day gain or loss projections across these varied price and volatility ranges. Largest loss wins. The single largest theoretical loss across the portfolio or position determines the exact buying power requirement. House rules. Individual equities facing minimum stress test range of at least 15% plus or minus, which can be extended by 50% leading up to a company's earnings announcement. That's why if you stay in a position close to a binary event, it tends to suck up more buying power because they want to make sure that they've earmarked some money for worst case scenarios. Net effect. Offsetting positions like spreads are evaluated together for their combined net risk, which generally lowers the BPR and allows up to roughly 6.7 to 1 leverage. If you like, let me know what specific positions or strategy you're planning to test, whether you want to know the minimum account balance requirements or portfolio margin. I can help you estimate, etc., etc., etc. So in short, it's kind of complicated, but you'll learn some things like TSLL is 100% buying power. It's a leveraged instrument. So they're like, nah, we're good. So the way that I look at it is the less buying power that the brokerage takes for selling that put, it's the more confidence that they have that this thing's not in for a wild swing, if you will. But if it's something that's extremely volatile, they're like, yeah, we're going to treat this more like a cash secured put versus a portfolio secured put. Hence, why Robinhood doesn't require as much buying power as Nebius. Because if you look at the expected range, right, if you go over here, and you go and you look at the expected price move of, say, SpaceX 88 days from now, you see that copper strip right there? That's your expected price move 88 days out. If we go 144 days out, still pretty wide, right? From call it 95 to 175. It's pretty wide. 389 days out, pretty wide from call it 70 to 200. Pretty wide expected move. Now you go take Nebius and we go look at our backstop or a cash grab. I don't call it a backstop trade unless it's about a year out. So just premium cash grab. Look at that copper strip. It doesn't even fit on the page. So there's a lot more volatility. So the higher the volatility, the higher the buying power requirement. That's just kind of a rule of thumb in my mind. That might not always be the case, but that's just kind of the way that I look at it. So anyway, I hope that helps. Good question, man. Good question. Appreciate you. Let me go through some of these questions and I think we'll call life good. I appreciate the 600 people rocking with me on X, the 47 people rocking with me live on YouTube. I rolled my 145 hood calls from June 2027 to September for 15,000. I still have sold $50 puts on hood expiring in June 2027, rolling to roll when we have a pullback. Right on. Oh yeah, for sure. Agreed. You're welcome. Yeah, up collectively, down on this particular portfolio. Hey, what's going on, Hugo? I've already thanked this person for joining on the Wheelers Academy live. That's a huge. You guys are gonna get good value. I'm gonna give you guys my best because ultimately, I feel like when we get to like 25, 30, 50 million, I'm gonna be booking venues across the country to do Wheelers Academy live. We can get 25, 50, 100 people in the room and, have a nice catered event for you guys and portfolio update, live trading, and then have one of you guys come, one or two of you guys come and ask me questions live, kind of like like a roundtable discussion. This is my vision for the events. And walk me through your scenarios. We would put your screenshot on the thing, and I'd be like, we're going to play a game called Not Financial Advice. You guys have seen me do this for you guys 1,000 times on the FaceTimes individually. I can't legally tell you what to do, but I could tell you what I would do if it was my portfolio. I could legally tell you what I would do if it was my portfolio. You could do with that information what you will. And I'll look at it, analyze it, and I'll be like, if I was the one pushing the buttons, these are the buttons that I would push and why. Once I'm clear on what your goals and objectives are with that particular trade and whatnot. So I think it could be really, really fun. But it's all not theoretical. It's all, you got to show me a position. It's not like, it doesn't matter if you don't have a position. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Show me your position and I'll tell you what I would do with it to try to maximize the win and manufacture the win. So we did all of that. What else are we got? Oh, the new church. In fact, I do want to do it, but I also have regular full-time job. I'd rather sell options. Right on. The good news is that those are obviously all going to be there. They're going to be recorded for the members. So if you're not able to show up to class, it's recorded for you. That's so I'm kind of treating this like an ongoing college class. And I'm going to do lives on the weekends too. As we get more and more members, I'm going to dedicate more and more time to it. I did that. Appreciate it. Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to do that. Definitely want to do that. San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Dallas. All of those are areas where we could do a meetup. And I'm thinking about hosting 3 people at a time where we live, because we have a golf course community here. We have South Padre Island close by. Again, this will be all the stuff with Wheeler's Academy, because I've been building up for this for a while. So we could, go golfing, go hang out at the island. I mean, we're going to build relationships. Like, we're going to build relationships on this thing. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. And then just for any tier, for a meetup, freaking, I'm easygoing, dude. It's going to be like Dave & Buster's, Wingstop, Top Golf, that kind of thing. I'm not a fancy dude. So if you want a bunch of fancy steak dinners, I'm not your guy. I think Mike Alfred, that's what he does. And then he charges people a shitload of money and they go have steak dinners with him and stuff like that. That's not what I do. Right on. I love the Dallas Cowboys, man. I don't know why they're so heartbreaking, but we could, maybe we do a Cowboys game meetup. That'd be real cool, like a tailgate. It's like Jason Genovis. I have no idea who Jason Genova is. TJ, how's the buying power? Okay, we did that one. Yeah, I always had that question. I sometimes go as much as 80% buying power and high risk of margin call. Yeah, Netflix at about 13.5 right now. Let's go. Much interest or a meetup. Right on. Awesome. I hope you guys got value, man. I feel like I did my best to try to give you guys good, solid value today. Some of these decisions are not easy to make, man. Some of these decisions simply are not easy to make. We flip green for the day. That part's always fun to see, but at the end of the day, I just look at the buying power usage. I look at my net position deltas, and I look at the cash balance. That's where I live. That's where I live. And the theta per day. So theta per day, you take your net lick and you multiply it times 0.5%. And that's kind of where you want to play with your net lick. So we're at 13.5 mil. So we go 13.5 mil times 0.5%. So the max that we should have on theta per day is 67,500. So we're okay. And then the other thing that we look at is cap requirement. You go over to the PNR, point of no return, and you start looking to see what's a problem child. So we got one problem child there, and I think that's probably MU. Micron's a problem child there. If it has a drawdown, it could hurt you a little bit. And then the other one I think is Palantir. Everything else, we're solid. We're solid. And then this is other things that you could again, this is the stuff that we'll be doing on like the Wheelers Academy lives is you go and do a risk analysis. It's a real busy chart. It's a real busy chart, but it's got a lot of valuable information there. You take positions and you start looking at it. Okay, if it goes up 10, 20, 30, 40%, how much money am I making? How much money am I losing? So on BM&R, these are just leaps. So the higher they go, unlimited upside, the more money we'll make, right? So if it goes up to $36, we're already up almost $1.5 million. So it could get fun really quickly. If it goes down, we're getting our ass kicked. But the good news is we can't lose more than 1.324 mil. That's what we paid for the leaps. So you go through all of them and you start running scenarios. You can change the percentages here as well. I have it here for plus or minus on the IV of 10%. And here we got it for 20%, I believe. Yeah, on BM&R, it's at 50%. Everything else is 15% on CleanSpark. I'm not sure why it differs. Because we have Enphase at 30%. I'm not sure why it does that, to be honest with you. But CleanSpark, it stands to reason that if we only have short puts, we're going to make money if the stock goes up. We're going to be losing money if the stock goes down. So green light, red light, it's very straightforward. So in CleanSpark, I think we had 277,000 in extrinsic. So yeah, we have 2,500 puts at $10. So if it goes up to 1374, we're already up 94 grand. So it's pretty solid. And look at MSTR. We have a lot of deltas now, right? So if it goes up to 141, we're already up 500,600,000. I mean, it's just crazy. It just gets crazy. And it shows you what's hurting you, right? It shows you that the calls will be hurting you as it goes up, but the shares are making you money and the short puts would be making us money. And if it goes down, this is our hedge, right? The short call ladders are hedge. So that makes us money on the way down, but the shares are hurting us and the short puts are hurting us. So we're going to make sure that you guys really understand all of these metrics, because you got to learn how to not just fly the plane and keep it in the air, but you got to learn how to land the plane safely as well. Can you explain your thought process on short call ladders? Are you considering assignments? Man, that's going to be for another day because that one's going to take too long and I got to run. But that's definitely, we'll pick it up on the next one. TJ the Wheel Deal signing off. As always, guys, stay blue stock screen. Peace out. God bless you guys.